Yeah.
How big's that Goyf? Way too big. Are we getting an Oracle text on something? 6-7 Tarmogoyf. So do you want to see the Oracle text on Animate Dead? Probably already know how it works, but I'm assuming it's Animate Dead that they're getting the Oracle text on, because that's the most confusing card in sight right now. Not to say that it's that confusing, but it's a little bit awkward.
Is he allowed to write that down?
I don't know.
I didn't think you were. But...
Two judges standing right there didn't have a problem with it. I would feel like they would know better than I would, but...
Yeah. One would think.
And you make an assumption and say that they do know more than I do about that particular rule.
All right.
Brainstorm from Todd. Fetch land. We'll give him a fresh look when he chooses to crack it. I think he's got the Exarch Twin combo in hand. Oh wait, again. Now that Mendelian click for a quick second did look like Deceiver Exarch. Oh, they were asking for Oracle text on the Sphinx because it's a foreign Sphinx. Okay.
Okay, that's
that
completely fair.
Exactly.
And then you are allowed to write it down.
You should be allowed to write it down. It's a
foreign card.
Or else you're just going to keep having that judge.
It's a card that's like in gameplay right now. That if it were in another language, he would actually just be able to pick it up.
Exactly. So Goyf crashes in for 6. Fire Ice taps down Ely's Underground Sea during his upkeep, making it that much more difficult for him to reanimate anything. But Fetch Land will help things.
Yeah,
let me take a look really at Ely's, really quick, at Ely's list. He's only got, 17 lands, which is typical of a Reanimator deck. They don't need so many lands to function because everything costs basically 1 or 2.
Now, those Underground Seas are beta, so many of you watching... many of you watching may like to know that those 2 cards alone are probably worth more than your car.
Nice.
There's actually no card worth more money than those except Black Lotus.
Wow.
Beta Underground Sea is the second most expensive card in Magic.
2 Beta Underground Seas, a Guru Island, Japanese Foil Misty Rainforest. Nice deck, says the judge.
Yeah, I mean, this deck is, I think, easily 5 figures.
And that Sphinx there is pretty big itself. Ely reanimates the Sphinx of the Steel Wind, dropping to 5 in the process, but if Todd doesn't have an answer for the Sphinx...
He's going to start going way up higher than 5.
Yeah, it's bigger than a batter skull. Quite a bit more threatening. Sphinx is a 7/7, is that correct? 7/7 flying...
6/6.
Is it a 6/6? Costs 7, is that what I'm thinking? Or maybe it costs 8?
Costs like 8.
Yeah, it costs 8. Why do I think it was 7? So... yeah, it must be a 6. Yeah, 6/6.
All right.
So,
V-click, Todd just to target himself, and puts a Tarmogoyf on the bottom of his deck.
So
Todd's going to block the Sphinx with his V-click,
and
then bolt it.
But isn't it pro red?
No, he's bolting the V-click.
Oh, okay.
So that,
just
so that Ely doesn't gain a life. Yeah.
A little bit confused there, thinking he was trying to take down the Sphinx.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, not able to do anything about it.
I'm surprised Todd didn't stick that one out. I mean, if he had just drawn a natural order.
Oh, could have been helpful. Yeah, could have got him right back into that game. So.
He only had a one-turn window to do it for it to be good enough, but...
Yeah, I mean, give yourself that 1 turn, it's not that much longer.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable.
So, sideboarding. Surgical Extraction doesn't seem terrible from Todd. Just take out some of the reanimation spells, maybe. Sometimes, though, I mean, it may just be too late if you can't deal with the creatures.
Surgical Extraction is insane because you can play it for free and remove the creature they're trying to reanimate.
Right, when they target it, yeah. But if you don't have it at that point, I'm thinking like, yeah.
That's about it for him. He might bring in Pyroblast and Reb. Now, do we think that either of these players have anything techie in their sideboards they might bring in?
I mean,
do you think Ely's going to try bringing in hymns or something like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what the hymn, what matchup he's assuming the hymns would, or what the hymns are for exactly. Echoing Truth seems good against a deck with that plans on playing several Tarmogoyfs or Noble Hierarchs, but possibly unnecessary.
Echoing Truth is fine, I suppose. Echoing Truth, I think, is more for things like Leyline in the Void.
Yeah.
Show and Tell is a very nice sideboard option to have when people bring in things to, as far as graveyard hate goes.
Right.
They can have as much graveyard hate as they want. You can just show and tell a gigantic monster onto the table. Probably beat them that way.
Yeah, the list that I'm running has 2 main deck show and tell, just to have that backup in the deck. But I've just kind of been messing around with it, not super seriously. So
it seems like a really, really powerful deck.
It's just got some really powerful, explosive kind of actions. I guess options is really the word, but the problem is as soon as sometimes it's just like if they just deal with it, you're done. Like you're kind of all in on this plan, and if they just deal with that possibly that one reanimation spell or that one creature that you did manage to get into play, they have the spell that can deal with it. You're kind of just drawing air until you can put together another combo, and sometimes in that time you've just taken too much damage. I mean, you saw Ely.
Yeah,
Ely was all the way down on 5.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good draw.
Yeah.
I mean, he was able to reanimate his choice of guys by turn 3, and he's still put down to 5 by a no-rug deck. So I imagine a Zoo deck probably wouldn't have any issue at all just putting him down.
Yeah, kind of just powering through it.
So, Babyface probably siding in his 4 copies of Reb. He has two actual Rebs and 2 Pyroblasts.
Yeah.
Also definitely sideboarding in Surgical Extractions. Those are his best cards here. When it comes to taking things out, I imagine Fire Ice will be the first card to go, and Lightning Bolt will be leaving after that.
Mental Misstep, very good against Entomb and Reanimate.
Yes. Mental Misstep is ridiculous.
Todd leads with a Noble Hierarch, and Ely leads with nothing, discard Elish Norn.
Love it.
Love it too, because it looks like he's going to go Black Source Reanimate on turn 2. And
especially with that Dryad Arbor in play now?
Yeah.
Early heads up. Our artists are going to be wrapping up and leaving at 7 p.m. That gives you just over an hour to make your way over to the booth. They've got some spectacular prints.
All right.
So
Tarmogoyf from Todd.
So not major way over. Check in.
A 1/2 Goyf. And Urborg from Ely. Passes the turn.
Does he have the Reanimator? Yep.
Apparently not, or at least doesn't want to play it. I assume that he just doesn't have it. So Todd going to potentially find out exactly what is lurking in Ely's hand.
He's going to go for a V-click, I assume?
Yeah. I mean, he's got V-click, force, and land in hand, I think. Oh, Green Sun Zenith. Which he could very well just go with that plan. So Goyf in for 2.
Yep.
Creature and land. Not that impressive. We know he can be better. Actually 3 because of the hierarchy.
Oh, hierarchy, yep.
Alright, Ely adds an Underground Sea and has the Exhume, which will allow both players to put a creature from their graveyard into play. Todd, unfortunately, has no creatures. Ely has Elish Norn. Todd has Force of Will, removing Vendilion Click for the Exhume. Ely has Force of Will, removing
Mystery.
Ponder. And Elish Norn hits the board. Goyf shrinks, probably grows and shrinks actually. Does a little bit of both. Todd loses his Dryad Arbor and Noble Hierarch.
Alright, so Todd passing the turn back over to Ely.
So now, how big is that Goyf?
It's a creature, instant, sorcery, land.
Creature instant, so he's just a 2 power then, right? Because of the Elish Norn.
Yeah. Just a 2/3.
Is that a Progenitus in Todd's hand? I think it's Progenitus, Daze, Green Sun Zenith.
Progenitus is just the worst when you draw
It really is, unless Ely's like, now, show and tell.
If Ely plays the show and tell, then Todd's going to be pretty happy about having their Progenitus in his hand.
But, Brainstorm from Ely.
Alright, so these gigantic reanimation targets are really hard to deal with for everybody.
I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, that's why they're so good, and it's great because when you look at some of these targets, they're cards from New Phyrexia. Jin Gitaxias, Elish Norn, both New Phyrexia cards. Yeah. You know, it's like, that's awesome. I mean, this deck can literally play the best creatures in Magic, ignoring casting cost, and it chooses 2 creatures that have been printed in the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I was working on a few different Legacy decks recently, and one of the things I noticed was just like how high the density of newer cards was, and it continues to grow. Newer cards are definitely on power level with the older cards here.
Jace, Stoneforge, Mental Misstep, Dismember,
Elish Norn seems to be so well positioned in the Reanimator decks.
Jin Gitaxias, Green Sun Zenith.
Everybody's playing Dryad Arbors. It's just really powerful.
Batterskull. All these cards are Legacy staples, and they've all been printed just since 2010, really. Like, most of them have been printed since... I mean, the oldest ones are Jace and Stoneforge that I just mentioned. I think everything else has been since then. Animate Dead. What is... I'm a little bit confused because of... is there a target? Animate Dead? Well... kind of confused there. And, yeah, Todd packs it in. Ely gives him a still had all ease.
No. Tilting him.
That's, yeah, you're right. It's so tough to fight through those reanimation targets. Elish Norn, that's all it takes. I mean, what does No Rug do? It's the biggest guy in the deck is Tarmogoyf, not counting Progenitus, right? I mean, that's it. Everything else is dead to Elish Norn.
I mean,
and Tarmogoyf isn't very big.
The Reanimator deck really has a lot of angles. The Sundering Titan might have been good game 1. But, I don't know. I'll be interested to see who ends up making time of this tournament. I would really like to see somebody like Ely playing an innovative deck like his in this topic.
Seems like a fun deck. I mean, and it is, like, just from experience playing a little bit of Reanimator, like, it's definitely fun to play the turn 2 Jin Gitaxias. We didn't even see it there, but you know, hopefully we see something like that later on. I think Reanimator
finally
is
not Iona anymore. Everybody's playing like monocolor decks.
No Iona in the 75, and Iona does not shut down enough. Iona not good enough. Kind of nuts. You want a Red Bull, Jake?
That would probably be good.
I think I might Red Bull myself. So. One more here. Pretty rough, long hours.
Yeah. I didn't sleep very well last night, so.
So, for those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with Jacob Van Lunen. We're going to go on a short break, and we'll be back to bring you coverage of the next round very shortly.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Jacob Van Lunen and I'm here with
Joey Pasco.
And we're in Baltimore, Maryland. We're covering the Star City Games Legacy Open, and we just got done covering round 7, I believe?
Right, still in round 7.
Yeah, and
I'm going to show you another match.
We're about to go to another match. We're going to game 3 here. They have a 4-minute time extension, and we'll be looking at Douglas McKay, who's playing a pretty classic rug list. It lacks natural order.
Yeah, no natural order.
It's no rug.
Yeah.
And he's playing against Mitchell Zelmanovic.
One of those.
Who is playing Dredge. Pretty classic looking list.
Yep. So we'll go to the match. There they are. So Mitchell with a name that defies the space of the screen.
Yes.
Bryce
in his
Menard
native
in the
country,
background.
that last name means God of Electricity, and when he's close enough to the Fountain of Power, he can actually shoot electricity out of his eyes. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he would ever leave the Fountain of Power, to be honest, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, with that kind of power comes, like, such great responsibility.
I think that's... I've heard that before. It's Spider-Man kind of thing, right? Kind of like Spider-Man, except with electricity.
I really like Douglas's list here.
Yeah, me too.
Bloodbraid Elf is one of my favorite
Seems
cards.
fun. So yeah, Bloodbraid Elf. Bloodbraid Elf here in Legacy. What can it cascade into? Oh, Noble Hierarch, Tarmogoyf, Kira Great Glass Sinner, Trigon Predator, Vendalion Click, Ancestral Vision, Brainstorm, Lightning Bolt, Sylvan Library, Fire Ice. And only Jace the Mind Sculptor fails the Cascade test there, and Force of Will. Obviously, you don't want to cascade into Force of Will anyway.
But something that's very cool about this list is the Sylvan Libraries. They work exceptionally well with the Bloodbraid Elves. You can engineer the top of your deck properly, and you can just put an Ancestral Vision right there. Yeah. And then when you Bloodbraid Elf, you flip in the Ancestral Vision, and you don't even have to wait for the suspend time.
It just
resolves right away, and you get to draw 3 cards. Pretty powerful interaction there.
So we know they're already post sideboard here, going to game 3. We see Douglas has Tormod's Crypts.
And he has Wheel of Sun and Moon.
And Wheel of Sun and Moon, exactly. Mitch is mulliganing.
Yeah, Mitch looks like he has probably brought in some Nature's Claims, perhaps a few copies of Ancient Grudge, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like...
You can't really bring in too many cards when you're playing Dredge.
Right. It's a very tight list, very synergistic list. He has Icarid in there, which is pretty classic, but I know some lists just don't run Icarid.
I like Icarid. I don't think it's
very...
Like, it's not safe to just go pure...
Just
your main combo. Sometimes... Flamekin Zealot doesn't kill them every single time.
Yeah, Sphinx of Lost Truths in there just to help you dredge a little more.
Now, Trigon Predator is a card that's been, been seeing play from time to time in Legacy since the beginning of the format. It's a powerful spell whenever enchantments and artifacts become the norm in the format. I'm surprised to see it here today. Hopefully that's been serving Douglas well all day. Douglas leads off with a turn 1 Brainstorm.
I would think...
he's deciding what cards to put back here. Pass the turn over to Mitch. Mitch will... what's he going to do here? Okay, Mitch simply draws for his turn and passes back to Douglas. Mitch is... I guess on the mulligan and attempting to get to 8 cards so he can discard a Golgari Grave Troll from his hand.
Yeah, it seems like the plan. Yeah, I mean that's about the only reason why you draw and pass.
Perhaps it's a Stinkweed.
Right, yeah, I mean, a Dredger. He needs a Dredger in the graveyard. He doesn't have a way to do it, so he...
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I would keep a hand with just the Thug, so...
But that gives Douglas... Not just a window, but or I guess you could say it's a window. It's a pretty big window.
Oh wow! So Mitch decides to go for the Careful Study.
Yeah, Careful Study. Okay, so.
All right, he pitches a Grave Troll. And a Stinkweed Imp.
So it was both of
pretty
the
clutch.
cards you mentioned, yeah.
And with that Cephalid Coliseum, Mitch will be threatening a kill as early as the very next turn.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. That's one of those you know, dredge openings. You saw him mulligan, and he could very well be shuffling up, you know, de-sideboarding in a matter of, you know, a minute or two.
Yeah. Well, it'll take some time, but
that's true. Yeah. Okay. A turn or two.
Yeah.
So
let's see. Does he have another blue source? Because that could just be it.
Narcomoeba, Gemstone Mine. What was that in between there? Is that Tarnished Citadel, I think? Yeah.
Yes, Tarnished Citadel.
Grave Troll Cabal Therapy. He has Threshold.
Alright.
Not a blue source though.
So he does not have another blue source to go with this. Let's see what he does with this. Ooh, a breakthrough.
Breakthrough for 0.
And that's pretty brutal. First he's going to dredge back this Skilgari Grave Troll. 4, 5, 6. Next he's going to dredge back the other Grave Troll. That's second dredge. 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's got 2 Stinkweed Imps, yeah.
For a Stinkweed Imp.
He's got, yeah, 3 of those. He's got 3 Stinkweed. No, wait.
1.
No.
2, 3, 4, 5. Stinkweed Imp only dredges for 5.
Yeah.
And he gets 1 more dredge. Did he resolve his last draw step?
I didn't think he did. Breakthrough's 4, right?
Yeah, breakthrough's 4.
Pretty sure that was just 3. Maybe he just drew a card. May have just drawn a card for that 4th. And then just discarded.
Opponent bolted his own guy. That's gonna remove these bridges from the game.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Now, how are there that many Narcomoebas in this graveyard? I'm so confused. All right, so
yeah,
Bloodbraid Elf, no Fire Ice.
Passes the turn with a 1 Narcomoeba and Celestial Colonnade in play. Noble Hierarch picks up Umezawa's Jite, swings in.
It's pretty nice.
And Jite...
Getting counter synergy is
yeah.
really good, especially against a deck like Dredge where you can control their bridges.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very good against creature decks also.
Yeah, so that Jite gets 2 counters and uses 1 to kill a Narcomoeba. Now, on Mitchell's turn, has the Ichorid, and now does not have the Ichorid, but Douglas has to take a counter off the Jite to take care of that Ichorid. So, dredging the Grave Troll.
Alright, so in this Grave Troll dredge, did he get anything good? He got an Ichorid, and I believe he still has Stinkweed Imp in his graveyard, correct?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, in his hand is the Grave Troll that he just dredged back.
Okay.
Douglas now has 4 mana plus a Noble Hierarch with a Umezawa's Jite, so up to 5 mana. Or if he wants to swing with, you said he had Bloodbraid Elf before, right? He could Bloodbraid Elf if he wants.
He did have Bloodbraid Elf. I wouldn't mind him casting a Bloodbraid Elf here.
I would like to see a Cascade. Why not? It'd be a 4-power elf.
Yeah, but I think he'd rather just swing with the Hierarch anyway.
Yeah, those counters are pretty important. Especially now that there are 2 Icarids chilling out in Mitchell's graveyard. At least 2. Pretty sure it's just 2 though. There's 3 in the deck.
That stands to reason then. And some Bloodbraid Elf.
Yep. Bloodbraid cascades into Vendilion Click.
Yeah.
Did he targeted him?
Did he target him?
Yeah, I didn't see the. I mean,
yeah, I didn't see him choose target.
Mitchell just showed him his hand. He could pull the I didn't target you, I'm targeting myself. Thanks for showing me your Grave Troll that I already knew was there. Yeah, he's targeting himself. I don't know why he would target Mitchell. There's no reson to.
I mean, he already knows which was the Grave Troll. That's
what I'm saying. It doesn't make it really. He doesn't get an advantage off of that, but that's just exactly why it wouldn't make sense for him to choose to do that. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he plays the Bloodbraid Elf, but holds it back and attacks with the Hierarch.
Ooh. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's a nice point from Twitter.
Enough, you're supposed to keep your graveyard ordered when you're playing Dredge. This player clearly does not keep his graveyard ordered.
Maybe he memorized it. I don't think so.
I highly doubt it.
I more than highly doubt it. I'm almost positive he did not memorize the order of his graveyard because of the way he's just randomly laying cards out. At least it seems at random. But anyway, Bloodbraid Elf.
Method to his madness.
There may be. Even though it's not madness, it is Dredge. But Dredge is probably Sparta. So the Bloodbraid Elf picks up the Jite and swings in alongside the Vendilion Click for 6. 2 more counters on the Jite, which basically keep negating the Icarids. What's happening? You know, the counters go on, the Icarids come back, the counters come off, kill the Icarids. Every turn is just kind of the back and forth between the Jite counters and the Icarid. So he puts one there, one there, one there, and then kind of all there.
It really is just a mess.
It looks like he's trying to build a deck. It's like, hey, what should I do here? Yeah. So Mitchell packs it in. Vendilion,
pile.
2 of the best creatures ever printed facing him down, Vendilion Click and Bloodbraid Elf. Not to mention one of the best pieces of equipment ever printed.
Yeah, Umezawa's Jite is a pretty nice one to cascade into also. And, you know, Bloodbraid Elf with a deck that has this many creatures really presents a lot of threats, which makes your Jits much better.
So we just got a yay coverage from passerby. I don't know if that was sarcastic or not, but as far as I'm concerned, yay coverage.
Yay coverage, man.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
The best.
This is great.
Me too. Now, I really liked Douglas' deck.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to see a Cascade. I was sick of it last year with Jund, but it's fun to see a Cascade after several months. I guess I like cascading. I don't necessarily like playing against Jund, and I think sometimes they kind of go hand in hand a lot of times. But anyway, it's not so bad. Haven't seen it in a while. Can't really complain. In fact, actually enjoyed seeing that Bloodbraid Elf cascade into a Vendilion Click. I like Vendilion Click.
I was always a huge fan of Bloodbraid Elfing into Ardent Play into Wall of Omens, or Bloodbraid Elfing into Ardent Play into Spreading Seas.
That seems like fun.
Yeah, I played that deck for a while. It's a lot of fun. You attack for 4 with your Bloodbraids.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean...
It's one of the only decks that actually beat Jund, because you had so many Spreading Seas.
Was this the... I know Flores built a list, I think he called it Black Baneslayer, and it was just 5-color Cascade.
Oh no, this was every color except black.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Definitely a pretty crazy top beta draft, Jeff. Cool.
I played in PDQ where almost everybody was playing that deck that I was friends with. It went really, really well for us.
Cascading multiple times is just so
really sweet.
Unbelievably sick, you know, like to cascade into multiple spells. And that, I mean, Cascade was a popular mechanic. It's kind of unfortunate that Jund was such a common deck to see. People just got sick of seeing it. So, what are we on here? You want these?
That's okay. I was
a little confusion. Okay.
So
that was
have
round
we talked
7,
about
right?
much? Yeah. Have we talked about Commander much today? We've
No, actually,
talked about
we
it a
haven't.
little bit, but we haven't really touched on it a lot.
Not as much today. We talked a little bit about it yesterday.
Those new decks have come out. They're a great opportunity to get into the format, even if you're a competitive player. As a competitive player, I've never really taken the time to like hone a Commander deck because I'm constantly working on the decks that I want to play in tournaments and things like that. But these pre-cons are a great opportunity because your deck doesn't have to be awesome when you're playing Commander.
Yeah.
Like, you can lose, and that's okay. It's a multiplayer format.
Because you just have so much fun,
You're playing for fun, not... And I mean, you play all Magic for fun, but, you know, some formats of Magic, it's more fun to win. And Commander, I feel like it's one of those formats where it's fun to just watch what's happening.
Right. Just to see the interactions.
To look around and find the cool interactions that you haven't seen thus far.
Right.
Like, those are the types of things that make it really, really interesting. And
a lot of times you just get interactions between decks, not even like in your own deck. You know, I didn't build some sick combo, like not something like that. Like something that somebody else has that you haven't interacted with, but you draw something that. Wait a second, how does this work?
Yeah, how did this
happen?
happen?
My gosh, this is nuts. Watch this, you know, and something crazy happens. And I mean, that makes Commander fun in that way. And I think it's strangely as it's one of those ones, like you said, it's not that bad to lose, and it's almost like to win the Commander game. It's not even like it's like I won, but I mean that doesn't matter really who won.
Yeah, everybody won. You know, nobody cares who won.
Right.
The Commander game. Everybody just wants to
but
play
this is what
game
happened. Let me tell you what happened in the game.
Let me tell you what happened in the Commander game.
I just played 4-player Commander and I won, but let me tell you what happened. Right. Let me tell you what happened in this game that just was ridiculous. There was this one turn, you know. So it's things like
There's
that.
There's a great article on MagicGathering.com from Friday by Brian David Marshall about Commander, and one of the stories is from Sheldon Menery, and he describes a game of Commander they were playing in Kuala Lumpur, where on one turn he used Brian Stoutarm to kill all 3 of his opponents from 40 down to 0.
Oh gosh, I don't know how you set that up.
It's like some sort of like sneak attack play.
It sounds so unbelievable.
I'll see if I can find it right here.
I don't even know how that happens,
but it's one of the most exciting wins I think you'll ever hear about. So yeah, here it is. So he played Ring of Bright Earth earlier, and he had a Brian Stoutarm on the battlefield, and everybody's at 40 life. Then he cast Sneak Attack with both these cards on the battlefield, and he activated Sneak Attack and put a Sarah Avatar in the battlefield.
Right.
So
Sarah Avatar is like what now 40, right? I mean 40-40. Isn't that right?
Yes, 40-40. All players still at 40. So he attacks with the Sarah Avatar and kills somebody. From 40 to 0, Sarah Avatar. Then he uses the Brian Stoutarm ability and he flings the Sarah Avatar at another player.
Yeah.
And he uses Rings of Bright Earth and flings at the other person also. So now that's 40, 40, 40.
Right. That is so nuts. Was that it? Was it 3 other players?
Yep.
That is unbelievable. It's funny that you mentioned this because I had a standard deck that sounds not that far off. It was Oath of Druids into Sarah Avatar and Fling for the win. That was my plan. That was what I built the deck around. And I had Bloodshot Cyclops, which was Brian Stoutarm before Brian Stoutarm was around. It was when Oath of Druids was legal. or at least right around then. Maybe Oath of Druids had just rotated, and maybe it wasn't a standard deck, but it was fresh out of standard.
I used to really like that guy who you put the cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library.
I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't.
And I played Phantom Neshoba with Oath.
Phantom Neshoba was
a beater. He was so big.
It's like a 7/7, right?
Yeah, he's a 0/0 who comes in with 7++1 counters. Right. He has lifelink, and whenever he's dealt damage, you prevent that damage and just remove 1 counter from it.
Yeah, those Neshobas were so sick. Like
Phantom Centaur, that card was pretty good.
Oh yeah, 5/5 for 4, right?
5/3 for 4. Yeah, I think it was a
2/0.
Came in with 3++1 counters.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But whenever he was dealt damage, you would remove a ++1 counter instead and just prevent all the damage. And he had Pro Black, so he was very good against red decks because they needed to interact with him 3 times to kill him.
Yeah,
and
unbelievable.
It's just very difficult. So they're basically like shumping him 3 times, or they have to use 3 spells to kill him. There's just a lot of different things that you'd have to do.
I miss Judgment, like some of those cards. They're a lot of fun, but in formats like Commander, that's exactly where you get to play.
That's why you get to play with those cards.
You can build a deck out of a bunch of like old stuff that you have laying around. If you just want to get into the format and you don't really feel like putting a lot of thought into it, just buy these precons. You just need singles. You can buy the singles on Star City. Just the
Star City is just about all the singles available. A few of them have been sold out, but I'm sure those will be back in stock very soon. So.
Always being constantly refreshed stock at Star City. The other cool thing, and we were talking about this yesterday, Commander singles are legal in Legacy. Like, all this stuff is legal in Legacy. So these new cards that they've released just for Commander.
And who knows how many of them there really are that will actually go into circulation? Because the majority of people who buy these will probably keep them together.
Yeah, because or keep them and modify the list, but they probably want to keep the cards for themselves.
So, for example, there's the one land where you gain control of everything that you own.
Homeward Path, yeah.
And that seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
In a lot of different metagames, there are ways that people are trying to, take your stuff.
Vidalcan Shackles, your Tarmogoyf, fine. Knight of the Reliquary, Sacrifice, Forest, Homeward Path. Give me my
pretty good.
Give it back, Seems, seems reasonable. Seems one way to do it. Of
you
course,
can bizarre trade all day?
Oh, yeah. The one that I like is the Elric, right? The Elric Spymaster of Trust.